It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Stand by. Turning on the lights. Can you hear me? All right, there's one light. I'm back to the microphone now. Here's light number 2. How did I forget to turn on the lights? All right, here's another light coming up. Here's another light. Does that make it look better? Oops. And then one more light. All right, now the lights are on. Here I am, Spencer, hosting this podcast on a 5:20 on Christmas Eve. This is how cool he is. Okay, let's talk about some words, if I can read them. Oh, it's time for those reading glasses. I gotta drop these off so they can put new lenses in. Progressives, that's what I meant to say. And then I can read again. All right, the first word in this episode, we got some numbers here. We don't usually get numbers on this show. They're a rare occasion. We've got to drink some water. The first word is 15, F-I-F-T-E-E-N. Wait a minute, hold the phone. Before I get into the words, I have to mention a new podcast that I started listening to. Because of the water, now my face feels all wet, and that's weird. There is a new podcast called The Telepathy Tapes. I think they started in maybe September of 2024, give or take. I should know this. I think there's like 10 episodes, and it is about nonverbal or mostly nonverbal kids who are autistic, have autism. I honestly can't remember the proper term right now. I think is autistic. And how they have telepathy or something bigger. Telepathy is probably not even the right word when you learn about what they can do. And this feels like the next level of human evolution. And I don't know, to me, it's sort of becoming, it's sort of what makes sense is the idea to communicate with other people with our brains. And they're just ahead of the rest of us. I have learned about kids specifically, who can do this for at least the last 20 years. And I didn't learn a lot about it, and so I was healthily skeptical, I guess, but also really wanted to believe it, and did believe it. But now that time has gone on, and they've gotten older, and there's more kids who are coming along like this, and there's more documentation, science being done, recordings, and people talking about it. That's another big thing. There was a lot of people who said, nope, we are not going to talk about this thing. Scientists, teachers were silenced. Anyway, if you listen to the podcast, you will learn all about it. But, it's a doozy. It's a doozy for me, and I think it's a doozy for you. Let's have doozy doos together. It is such a worthwhile podcast to listen to learn about people like this and what they can do, and it just grows and grows and grows over episode and episode, and there's not a lot of things that overwhelm me or shock me or interest me to this level, but this does, and I don't even know what to say other than thinking back on all the people in history who we have heard of who were at worst death, also at worst maimed in various ways, people who were considered quote unquote idiots or other words that are worse that I can't even think of right now, that some I can think of, that should not be used anymore and largely aren't being used anymore. But these were people who were different than everybody else. and they were scared and they didn't like them for whatever reason, and they silenced them. And how much further along could we have been with these types of people who have this skill, this superpower? That's what I would call it. If these people hadn't been, a lot of them murdered in a lot of ways, I think. And I strongly believe that a lot of them were just like these teens, 20-year-olds, 30-somethings who we have living today who have this skill. And what voices we have silenced because of that. The voices, I don't even mean in the literal sense. People, I can't, it's this gets me, this affects me, and I there's a lot to say and a lot to think. So please just go check out that's all, folks. The telepathy tapes. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. The first word is 15. You can emphasize either syllable, it looks like. 15. 15? 15? That's how I would do it. This is a noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, see the number table. All right, let's go look for the number table. No, not yet. It's not time. Number 2, the first point scored by a side in a game of tennis. Okay, I guess tennis and 15 go so well together that you had to put it in the dictionary. They're like two peas in a pod, like water and oil. It's called also 5. 5? So in tennis, do they say 5? I got 5. I put 5 on it. Give me 5, man. I don't know why they just say 5. It's one syllable. Just say fifth. They got a fifth. 15 is an adjective. 15 is also a pronoun when plural in construction. I think that's what it says. So if you say the 15s, is that a group of people? Is that a group of the 15-year-olds? Or is that a group of 15? How are we using that in context? 15th. That is an adjective or a noun. 15th. What's the difference between these two pronunciations? Oh, it's just emphasizing. Whatever, that's fine. All right. So my sound effect today, what's it going to be? I think it's going to be boo-boo-boo-boo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 5 because we got 5. We have 5 related words in this episode. So the next word is fifth. Here we go. Fifth. You could pronounce it fifth with just a th. You can say fifth with an F and a TH. And you can also say fifth. Is that what it says? I think so. F-I-F-T. Fifth. Whatever way is fine, obviously. This is a noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, see the number table. Fifth. In the number table, there will be the number, and then I'm sure there will be a column that says, how do you say it in this form, this fifth, this TH form? I can't remember what that's called, but that'll be in there. Number 2A, the musical interval, embracing 5 diatonic degrees. We're talking about music. We're talking about the scale. The C, not C, just major scale. I guess minor scale too. They have the same fifth. Yes, they have the same fifth. I should know these things, and I do know these things. So the fifth, if you start on a note, do, 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 that fifth one is the fifth one, do, 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 do. I messed it up. But those make a really interesting sort of classic, simple harmony, right? Isn't that your like base level harmony, the first and the fifth? The first, the fifth, the fourth, the fifth, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-do. All right, what is next? Number 2B, I believe. A tone at 2 tones at this interval. What? No, I think I skipped a line. The tone at this interval is the fifth. Specifically, the number 1 definition for dominant. Now, I thought that the first note was the dominant note, but maybe there's something about the fifth. Is it the dominant harmony? I don't know enough music theory to know this. This is still basic level, but I didn't get that far. Number 2, C, is the harmonic combination of these two tones at this interval. C and G, B and A, no, D and A. E, we're working on these old math skills, or music skills. I got confused because I'm doing Duolingo. Math and music. Stuff that I learned long time ago, so luckily it's easy, but it's going to get hard. I know it. So we're just refreshing those old music muscles. So D, A, E. I'm trying to visualize it in my head. E, B, F, C, G, D. Or did I miss something? E, B, F, C. Yeah. G, D, and A, E, and B, F. And then we go back to C. Okay. It all came back so easily. Number 3, a unit of measure for liquor? A unit of measure for liquor equal to 1/5 of a U.S. gallon, which for everybody else in the world is 0.757 liters. 1/5 of a gallon, so that's about the same size bottle as a wine bottle, and I think there's a reason for that, because a wine bottle is 0.75 liter, and this is 0.757, and they're like, that's close enough, let's make those bottles the same size, essentially. Which one's more accurate? Is a fifth literally 0.757 milliliters, or liters, 757 milliliters, or is it an accurate wine bottle size, and they call it a fifth? Where? I wonder what they do. I've always wondered, what is a fifth? Why do they call it a fifth? I don't drink a lot of alcohol or liquor, so I don't know. Fifth? What's the size of it? Is it a fifth of a gallon? Yes, it is a fifth of a gallon. All right, which is also ironically very similarly sized to a wine bottle. Now, we have number 4. This one's capitalized. The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Also, the right accorded by the Fifth Amendment to refuse to testify against oneself. This is probably the amendment that we hear mostly, especially if you're watching a lot of legal shows, which I know a lot of you are. I will take the fifth. I will not talk about that situation. This is usually used in the phrase, take the fifth. Yep, it sure is. The fifth is also an adjective or an adverb, and fifthly, depends on how you want. How do you pronounce this one? I mean, I say fifth with a little bit of an F. I'm probably overemphasizing it right now. But fifthly, I feel like I would just say fifthly? Fifthly? What do you say? That's an adverb. Etymology-wise, if we go back to 15, it's pretty obvious when you think about it that it's from fifth, from Old English, fifth, which means 5, plus 10, which basically means 10, right? It makes sense. There's like fifth 10. They probably used to say that even. 10, 11, 12, 13, 410. The words got weird. Okay, then the etymology for fifth. Why do we say this word? It looks like it's from Middle English, fifth, or fifth, which means, where did it go? I think I mixed up with something. It's just 5. That's all it is. It's just 5. What does the word mean? It just means 5? Is this the first word for 5? Does it come from somewhere else? I guess not. Boop. Now we have fifth column. 2 words, noun from 1936. This is a group of secret sympathizers or supporters of an enemy that engage in espionage or sabotage. Sabotage! Within defense lines or national borders. These are the fifth column. I feel so stupid not knowing this one. Seems like I should know this. Fifth or fifth? Fifth columnism? Fifth columnism, that is a noun. Fifth columnist is a noun. When they're writing in the newspaper, the fifth column is that one, that person all the time. What's this name? They're sympathizers. They're doing spying things. They're spying on people in the country. The name is applied to rebel sympathizers in Madrid in 1936 when 4 rebel columns were advancing on the city. 4 rebel columns were coming into the city. Was it one group? Was it 4 different groups? And are they columns because they're marching in, like, if you look down, it's like a column? Why couldn't it be a row? Those are the rows. That's the column. And so there were 4 teams coming to Madrid for some reason, some war, I guess. But then the 5th column. What's the 5th column? The invisible column. Were they the ones who were studying, getting the information to know that the 4 columns were coming? We need more information. If you need more information, dial this number. 5th, boo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Boo-ba-doo, that's 5. 5th disease, 2 words. It's my 5th disease today. Can you believe it? This is a noun from circa 1941. An acute virus disease, especially of children, caused by a parvovirus, and manifested by a blotchy red rash on the cheeks, which spreads. Which cheeks are we talking about that are being spread? Cheeks which spread to the extremities and is usually accompanied by fever and malaise. I'm so hot. I'm too tired to be hot. Is that malaise, or is that more of a mental, like, sadness? Maybe both. That's an interesting thing. It's a parvovirus that kids, red splotch, and it spreads around the body. The 5th disease. Why is it called the 5th disease? It's from its enumeration, its numbered placement as the 5th of 5 exanthematous childhood diseases known at the time of its description. So at the time in 1941, I guess, they knew of 5 diseases of a specific type, these exanthematous diseases, and the 5th one that they learned about got the incredibly clever name of 5th disease. What are we going to call these? Oh, well, that one we should name after Harold because he found it, and this one we're going to name after Jimbo Bob because he found it, and the 3rd one we're going to name for me because I found it, and the 4th one we're going to name for that other dude over there because he found it. But the 5th one was found by a woman, and so we're just going to call it 5th disease. You know that is possible. Let's see. Now, I think, we have the species name for this thing. It is human parvovirus B19 of the genus erythrovirus. You better be taking your B19 pills. I don't know. To not get it, there probably aren't even B19 pills. I don't think those exist. Boo-boo-doo-boo-boo. Now we have the word 5th wheel. I still don't know how I say this word. It seems like it's coming out as 5th with no F, but I thought maybe I said the F a little bit. 5th, no, it's too hard to say. Let's have some more water. 5th wheel. We've all been there. Oh, I've made a living at being the 5th wheel. I don't understand what that joke means, but I've been there a lot. Noun from circa 1874. Number 1A, a horizontal wheel or segment of a wheel that consists of 2 parts rotating on each other, on each other above the fore-axle of a carriage and that form support to prevent tipping. I do have a vague memory of somebody talking about the 5th wheel in the car. It's a thing? I don't understand. I should have taken car lessons. A horizontal wheel or segment of a wheel that consists of 2 parts rotating on each other above the fore-axle of the carriage, wherever the parts that is, and that form support to prevent tipping. Well, you don't want a tippy car. You don't want a tipsy car either. Why don't they tell the cars not to drink and drive? They have to drink and drive, otherwise they don't go. They drink that other alcohol, that gasoline. 1B for fifth wheel. A similar coupling between tractor and trailer of a semi-trailer. Which came first? The fifth wheel in an engine situation, car, tractor, blah, 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 or the one which is number 2, which is one that is superfluous, unnecessary, or burdensome. Wow, that is not quite the definition that I was expecting for that one, but I like it just the same. One that is superfluous. So, well, first of all, are they saying that these fifth wheels in these engine vehicles with engines and stuff, that the fifth wheel doesn't do anything? Are they just upselling us on fifth wheel? You better watch out for big fifth wheel. They're selling you something you don't even need. I have no idea. But when you are a single person, probably in high school or maybe college, and you're hanging out with 2 other couples, you're the fifth wheel. And you know what? It's sometimes fun. You can mess with them, maybe. Now we have boo-boo-doo-boo-boo. 50 is next. Noun from before the 12th century. Let's scoot this up a little bit. Number 1, see the number table. I'm sick of seeing the number table. Okay, fine. Number 2, this is plural. 50s. I got 50s here. Come get your 50s. The numbers 50 to 59 are the 50s. Specifically, the years 50 to 59 in a lifetime or century. If we're talking about a specific 100-year block of 300 to 400, the 50s are the 50 through 59 of that section. So 350, 351, 352, 353, 354, 355, 356, 357, 358, and 359. Those are the 50s of that group. Or your lifetime. Oh, I haven't hit my 50s yet. It's out there. It's coming for me. It's coming to get me. We'll get there one day. It's going to be great. 50s. Number 3, a $50 bill. I thought it said hill, so I thought it was going to say something about 50 being over the hill. I don't want to be over the hill until I'm like 80. A $50 bill is a 50. 50th is an adjective or a noun. 50 is an adjective. 50 is a pronoun, plural in construction. 50s and 50-ish. Did we have 15th or 5th-ish? No, we didn't, because you can't describe something as 15th or ish. I think it's actually ish. 15-ish is like, it's kind of 15. It's like 13 or 14. It's 15-ish. And 5th-ish? No, we don't say that. Blah, blah. Okay. I think that's it for that one. No additional etymology for any of these words. This nap, yap. Okay, so doo-boo-doo-boo. 50-50. No, you emphasize it. 50-50. It's 50-50. That's how. I thought there was another symbol there, too. 50-50. 2 words with a hyphen. Adjective from 1913. Number 1, shared, assumed, or born equally. Equally. As in a 50-50 proposition. A 50-50 proposition. We'll do this job. You take 50, I take 50. We're even Steven squarely fairly. Number 2 is half favorable and half unfavorable. As in a 50-50 chance. Do you like to write it with the dash, or do you like to write it with the slash? Do you like to write it with the dash, or do you like to write it with the slash? Which is your preferred way to write 50-50? Or maybe it's ... a colon. It could be. 50-50, it's like we had a 50-50 chance of getting a good president last time around. Well, we'll see what happens. It'll all work out in the end, right? I just don't That's 50-50 is an adverb, and that's it for that. Bap doop boop bop. Ooh, I did it. I remember being in jazz band in college, and the teacher wanted us to, because he couldn't come up with one, he wanted the students to come up with a good, like, word replacement for 5 notes, fifths of a note, for like a jazz piece. Because I think there's like, triplet has some word associated with it, and 4 has another word, da-da-da-da. A triplet is da-da-da. So a fifth, music people know a little bit about this. And so he wanted something for fifth. And, maybe a week or two goes by, and one of the guys in the jazz band came up with something. And it was Dizzy Gillespie. 5 syllables. We all know Dizzy Gillespie. And so if you ever want to sort of come up with what's 5 notes in one beat, you just say Dizzy Gillespie. And then you got 5. Easy. So here we go with the last word, which is the first form of the word fig, F-I-G. Noun from the 13th century. Number 1A, an oblong or pear-shaped synconium fruit of a tree of the mulberry family. Figs are in the mulberry family. I didn't know that. Let's see. The genus name is Ficus or Ficus. Again, I think I remember when that word came up, I was like, is a fig tree a ficus tree? Are they the same? I don't know enough about the plants. 1B is a tree bearing figs, especially a widely cultivated tree that produces edible figs. The species name is Ficus cartica. I think that says cartica. Now I need to bring it down here. Number 2 for fig is a worthless trifle. Also, the least bit. The least bit. There's a phrase, doesn't care a fig. I don't care a fig if you live or die. I don't want to ever hear that. There's a picture of this fruit. But wait, do we have to go back to that phrase? The least bit, a worthless trifle, I don't care a bit. Yeah, okay, I think that's good. That's good. I hope this, you're not talking about something specific. You're not saying that that's a fig. You're just saying, I don't care a fig, which is just, I don't care. Oh, that much I care. Just a little bit I care. But the majority of my careness level, I don't have it. Okay, the fruit is, it's a picture of the fruit. It looks like a pear, but when you see them in real life in color, the colors are very different, probably, from most pears. And they are smaller and wrinklier, if I remember correctly. I've had figs. Meant to say figs. I've had figs on occasion, and they're good. And you make the fig Newtons. When I was a child, we would eat the fig Newtons, and we would break them in half. You probably did this too, and then you put it together again. You're like, oh my God, look, it sticks. It's like it's magic. It's like it was never broken in the first place. The magic of figs, everybody. Okay, so those were all the words. We might need to look at a little bit of etymology for fig. We started to learn a few episodes ago, I think. Old Occitan figa, from the vulgar Latin fica, from Latin ficus, which means fig tree or fig. It's just the word. That's it. It's just the word. The word is the word. Also, the bird is the word. All right, here we go with word of the episode time. Today we had 15, fifth column, fifth disease, fifth wheel, 50, 50, and fig. Okay, which one do we like? I think maybe I need to look up why the name fifth disease, because it was just the 5th on the list. I think there's more to it than that. Let's see, what else? I don't know anything about that. Fifth wheel is pretty funny. I hate being the 5th wheel. I got the 5th wheel blues. All right. Oh, now I have to now tell you about a movie that I watched, which is Muppets Take Manhattan, 1982. I think it said. We went to see the Jim Henson exhibit, which I think I said, and we saw the Muppet Babies, 2 of them to be specific. To be extra specific, we saw Baby Miss Piggy and Baby Miss Fozzie, just Fozzie. And Sharon got very excited to see them because ever since she saw that movie, Muppets Take Manhattan, she fell in love with the Muppet Babies. And I think I kind of did too, because we both were devoted watchers of the cartoon Muppet Babies. But to see them real is like another level thing. Like, the Muppets are cute, but the Muppet Babies shouldn't be allowed to be that cute. You know what I mean? All right. That's it for that. This is the end of the episode. Oh, good, I was recording. This has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. $50-50.